Okay guys, so this is going to be step 2 of our magazine, or in our case our self-portrait drawing. So just to kind of reiterate, what you guys want to do is make sure that you are taking measurements, going across, trying to line the eyes up, and also going from the top. That's just going to help you to get everything a little bit more in place. Now once you kind of got everything in place, what you're going to want to do is you're going to want to go in and you're going to start to develop shading. Now, when a lot of people begin to start to draw, like I said the other day, they'll go in and they'll start to make, an eyeball and, fill it in, and then you have your eyebrow and kind of shape it like that. Now, if you actually go ahead and look at someone, all of their face is made up of values. So you don't have like a nose straight drawn like that. It's going to actually be made up of shading. So I'm going to go in and teach you guys how to start to develop shading. And you're not going to want to use the tip of your pencil like this. You're going to want to use the side of it. And I'm also going to have you guys go in with the HB pencil first, and then we're going to start to experiment with the 3B as well. So now that I have her eye in place, I'm going to go in and I'm going to start shading it. So it's slightly darker around the edges. So I'm going to go in and I'm going to lightly press and I'm going to darken it up. Now, she does have these lines kind of going in from the edges on her eye. So I'm going to slowly go in, and it is darker around the edges, and then it goes a little bit lighter. So I'm going around the edge. You don't want to just color in the whole eye right away. And I'd probably sit here and work on this for quite a while. I'm just going pretty quick for this video. So you could see her eye is starting to build up, and we're kind of keeping those reflections in there. Then we could go in and start to darken up the pupil a little bit and start to build up like that. Now, her eye going through here, what you're going to want to do is you're going to want to actually start to build up a little bit of her inner eyelid there. So I'm going to go in and I'm going to start to draw that up and really focus on what you're seeing in the image. And then she starts to have some lines coming down through here, through her face. And I'm also going to go ahead and add in a really light line for where her eyelid begins. And like I said, start out light so that you could always go back in and erase. So I'm just going to kind of go in and start to fill out some basic things. One thing you're going to want to keep in mind is contouring, and I'm going to go through this for the next few days with you guys. But for example, her lips here, they're not just colored side to side, they're rounded. So just like when we did our optical illusion drawing, you want to pay attention to the lines in the lips, and while still keeping parts of it dark, you're going to want to go on a curve and to begin to form those lips. So you could kind of tell, then it starts kind of curving this way. So this is called contouring, and you're starting to kind of develop a little bit of roundness on the lips. The same thing goes if you guys start to develop hair and different things. So I know I started on her eyebrow in the other video, but really looking closely at it, you could see it's made up of all these little individual hairs. So I want you, rather than drawing out an eyebrow shape, to go in and start to kind of feather out, using some of your pencil marks, the actual hairs that you do see in the eyebrow. And it's the same thing, starting out light is always better than going in too dark. And I'm going to carry it over and kind of still using those wispy hairs. Okay, so I'm going to eventually go back in and make this really dark. The same thing goes for her hairline. Up here, you could see that it just doesn't start. Just like a natural hairline would begin, I'm going to go in and kind of use my pencil to create some strands. Also along the tip here, she does have a little bit of hair growth, kind of like those baby hairs. sticking out. So I'm going to go in and just kind of scribble with my pencil to start to develop those. Now notice, even though her hair is really dark, I'm not going in dark yet because I do want to go ahead and focus on highlights and adding in different things like that. So if you guys did begin to get all of your basic features drawn out, you could start to move on to this step. You're going to find that the eyes are in the center of the head as you go along, and that your hair is going to fill in most of it. You could start shading in some small details, but I don't want you guys to go in too dark just yet, and we'll slowly work our way up to using the stronger pencils to develop some of those really dark tones. I'm going to go in and just kind of define her face a little bit more, still using light lines, but this is going to be the next step as you guys begin to develop your self-portraits. So if you are ready for this, I'm going to say go ahead and start. In the next video, I'm going to go over how you can use these blending tortillions, and also how to start building and taking out some of the graphite for highlights, and also making some of the parts darker. So by the end of the day, you should have at least yourself drawn out and your features. And then if you are ready, you could start adding in really lightly some of the additional features. So that's all I have for you guys today. When we begin next week, I'm going to show you how to start to really develop a portrait and get a really natural look to it. So that's the end of this video.